Scorpio, the unseen work has already taken root beneath the surface. Before the ashes cool enough for anyone else to recognize what is rising, before the shift becomes visible in the physical world, you have been rebuilding yourself in silence. The structure is already in motion, approved by forces far deeper than appearances, and now the universe keeps repeating the same message to you. Loosen your grip. Around May 20 and 21, something solid begins forming beneath your life, and this breakthrough is not fragile, delayed, or uncertain. What is meant to remain always arrives when the soul finally stops bracing for loss. You did not find this message by coincidence. Scorpio does not drift carelessly through life. You survive, transform, and carry truths most people never see. Something brought you here because a deeper part of you already senses that a powerful shift is unfolding just outside your current view. Even while your mind keeps trying to calculate every outcome, you can feel it in the exhaustion that has settled into your spirit lately. Not weakness, but the fatigue that comes from carrying emotional weight for too long without setting it down. This is the space between surviving and finally allowing yourself to receive. The hardest part is ending now, and your role in this season is no longer to force every door open, but to remain emotionally available while life settles into the shape you fought quietly to protect. You endured tests that demanded silent strength. Beneath your calm exterior lived storms no one fully understood. You carried pain that was never supposed to belong to you because you became the person everyone leaned on, even while your own inner world was shifting beneath your feet. You stayed loyal through seasons where your effort was overlooked, and you continued believing in something deeper, even when nothing around you seemed to respond. Scorpio, none of that devotion disappeared unnoticed. Every hidden sacrifice, every moment you kept going after betrayal or disappointment was witnessed. While the world questioned your intensity or misunderstood your distance, something greater was honoring your resilience. You are worthy of what is arriving now, not because you pushed harder than everyone else, but because you refused to let bitterness consume you. It is time to step fully into the life you spent years emotionally surviving for. And the way you receive this next chapter is not through more struggle. It comes through release. Not surrender born from defeat, but the kind that happens when you stop expecting every beautiful thing to disappear. This blessing does not come from exhaustion. It comes from finally believing you are safe enough to hold what belongs to you. Your nervous system may still resist that softness because you have lived so long preparing for impact, guarding every emotional entrance as if loss were inevitable. But you are no longer standing in the same fire. What feels heavy right now is not failure or stagnation. It is transformation happening beneath the surface, deepening your ability to receive peace, intimacy, stability, and real provision without fear tightening around it. You are being prepared for a level of abundance that asks for emotional steadiness, not constant survival mode. The old version of you learned how to endure chaos. The version emerging now is learning how to remain open without fear controlling every decision. If you suddenly crave solitude, feel pulled to clear out your space, or notice a deep tiredness that sleep alone cannot touch, you are not falling behind. You are recalibrating. Your energy is shifting away from chasing and toward magnetic receiving. You are learning that your value does not need to be proven through endless sacrifice anymore. Because what is coming next asks you to lead your life differently. It asks you to become the owner of your energy instead of the person constantly depleted by it. So if you are here right now, do not dismiss the feeling that guided you into this message. It did not arrive randomly. This is confirmation for everything you have already survived in silence. Stay with me until the end of this video because what is unfolding here reaches far beyond money alone. It is about emotional security, restored self-worth, and the return of softness after years spent living as though survival was the only option. Take a deep breath. Scorpio, the ground beneath you is finally becoming steady again. What was taken from you emotionally, financially, and spiritually is beginning to return in a form you can actually feel and hold. Around May 20 and 21, the energy surrounding your life may feel heavier in the best possible way, as though something hidden has finally unlocked beneath the surface. If this truth settles somewhere deep inside your chest, even quietly, comment below and say, "I release the past and receive what is meant for me." Let that become your first act of trust, because unseen doors are already opening in your favor. Stay with me through the rest of this message, because what is unfolding now reaches beyond money alone. This is about reclaiming value, safety, and emotional authority after carrying survival mode for far too long. Every season of your life has been preparing you for this shift. The moments you refused to betray yourself just to fit in, the times you walked away instead of abandoning your standards, those choices were never weaknesses. They were shaping the emotional architecture of someone meant to hold real power without losing themselves. In the language of transformation, Scorpio understands what it means to survive beneath the surface, while the world only sees composure. This season is not simply changing what you possess, it is changing the way you see your own worth. The perseverance, the restraint, the pain you carried in silence have all been witnessed, measured, and accounted for. What is happening now is not only compensation for effort, it is confirmation that your value was always real, even before anyone else recognized it. While other people rushed toward temporary success, you were being shaped for something lasting. What looked like delays were often periods of internal rebuilding, moments where deeper emotional foundations were forming beneath everything visible. The world may have misunderstood your caution, your intensity, or your refusal to settle for shallow connections, but something greater understood exactly why your spirit moved that way. What others called difficult, heaven understood as devotion to truth. This is why the rewards arriving now feel different from fleeting luck or sudden fortune. They carry weight, they carry permanence. Like compound energy gathered over years of endurance, this abundance forms slowly and settles deeply into your life. The spiritual laws moving around you are no longer centered on constant struggle. They are beginning to mirror accumulation, restoration, and emotional security. You are not being rewarded only because you worked hard. You are being restored because you refuse to lose yourself inside scarcity and disappointment. There was something sacred in the way you continued showing up, even when life hardened around you. You gave loyalty while healing your own wounds. You created safety for others while quietly carrying uncertainty yourself. Those actions became more than survival habits. They became energetic investments that are now beginning to return with substance and meaning attached to them. What is forming behind the scenes is not chaotic or rushed. It is deliberate, steady, and built to remain. That is why peace matters so much in this season. Relaxation is no longer something you need to earn after suffering. It is becoming part of your transformation. Trust now means understanding that you no longer have to guard every door as if loss is waiting outside it. Even during the moments when your reality failed to reflect your effort, some part of you kept believing life could still become something solid and secure. And now that reality is beginning to shift from possibility into possession, you are no longer being asked to survive the storm alone. Scorpio, you are no longer being asked to brace yourself for another battle. You are being asked to prepare a place for what is finally ready to arrive. This time, the proof does not come disguised as another hardship to survive. It comes like something meant to be received fully, held fully, and lived inside without fear of it disappearing. What has your name on it is no longer distant. Around May 20 and 21, the shift may feel less like a sudden explosion and more like a deep exhale, finally moving through your life. Your devotion was recognized long before results appeared in the physical world. The loyalty you carried through disappointment, the emotional endurance no one applauded, the quiet strength it took to keep moving after betrayal, none of it was wasted. You are not arriving here because you rushed ahead of everyone else. You are arriving here because you remained true to yourself while surviving experiences that could have hardened you completely. So loosen your shoulders now. Relax your hands. What belongs to you no longer needs to be chased. And after so many years spent emotionally surviving, the next lesson may feel unfamiliar. Allow yourself to pause. Real rest can feel uncomfortable when your instincts have been trained to anticipate loss, conflict, or disappointment. But this season is not asking you to stop becoming who you are. It is asking you to stop believing that your worth must always be earned through exhaustion. You are not being invited to shrink your ambition. You are being invited to experience life without carrying constant emotional armor. When the universe asks you to soften, it is not removing your power. It is confirming your safety. Peace in this season is not weakness or carelessness. It is the expression of someone who no longer believes suffering is required in order to deserve love, stability, or abundance. Rest does not threaten what is divinely aligned for you. In many ways, your ability to receive calmly is becoming proof that you are finally ready to hold what once felt impossible. A regulated and rested spirit becomes magnetic in ways force never could. This invitation into ease touches every layer of your life. Mentally, your mind has spent years acting like a protector, calculating risks, preparing for betrayal, and trying to control uncertainty before it arrived. But now your thoughts are learning a different rhythm. The constant expectation of disaster is slowly losing its grip, and you are being asked to replace fear with trust in what you have already built within yourself. Instead of preparing for collapse, remind yourself gently and firmly, I am safe. I am supported. I am already becoming aligned with what is meant for me. Not as fantasy, but as truth settling into your nervous system. Emotionally, this phase may feel strange at first because calmness can awaken anxiety in people who have lived too long inside survival mode. If uneasiness rises simply because life feels quieter, let it move through you without panic. That feeling is only an old defense mechanism, realizing it no longer runs your life. You are learning that peace does not need to be interrupted in order to feel familiar. Protect your emotional stability with the same seriousness you once reserved for survival. This is where your transformation deepens. Scorpio feels life intensely through emotion, intuition, touch, atmosphere, and energetic presence. Beauty is not superficial for you, it is healing. Wear what makes your body relax. Sit in spaces that help your spirit breathe. Listen to sounds that quiet the noise you carried for years inside yourself. The more fully you allow yourself to experience the present moment without suspicion, the more naturally abundance begins settling into your reality. Just as something hidden beneath the earth gathers strength in silence before emerging transformed, this quieter phase is restoring parts of you that constant struggle could never nourish. You are being recalibrated for ownership, emotional authority, and a life that no longer revolves around proving your worth through suffering. And in this transformation, your ability to receive joy without guilt becomes part of the invitation you send back to the universe. I am ready for what is finally arriving. Scorpio, once restoration begins settling into your life and your spirit stops expecting constant loss, something deeper starts shifting beneath the surface. Your relationship with value is transforming from the inside out. The emotional patterns that once kept you gripping tightly out of fear or survival are slowly being dismantled, and a new inner foundation is forming in their place, one rooted in trust, stability, and personal power. You are not only preparing to receive more abundance, you are becoming someone who understands that your energy, resilience, and presence were always part of the wealth. Around May 20 and 21, you may notice subtle internal changes, moments where your body responds differently to rest, silence, or emotional openness. This is not instant transformation, it is recalibration, happening slowly, layer by layer. What you are experiencing physically may feel unusual at times. Tension in the shoulders or neck, exhaustion, changes in appetite, or the urge to clear out old belongings are not signs that something is wrong. They are signs that your system is making room for a different way of living. Your body learned survival for years. Now peace is trying to enter spaces where pressure once lived. But old emotional programming does not disappear overnight. Part of you still connects rest with weakness, which is why slowing down can trigger guilt instead of relief. You are not becoming lazy. You are unlearning the belief that your worth depends on sacrifice. The version of you emerging now is no longer built around constantly proving value while neglecting your own well-being. Energetically, this season feels less like pushing forward and more like quiet refinement. Nature becomes important because your spirit needs grounding instead of overstimulation. Time near water, silence, long walks, or moments beneath trees help your energy settle back into itself. Your nervous system is preparing to hold more without fear controlling it. What you give your body also begins to matter differently now. Nourishing foods, warmth, color, and small moments of pleasure help signal safety to your system. You are teaching yourself that life can contain softness alongside responsibility. It is like preparing an inner sanctuary for something long delayed to finally arrive without resistance. As this shift deepens, your tolerance for what drains you may disappear. Certain environments, conversations, or relationships that once felt manageable may now leave you emotionally exhausted. This is not coldness. It is discernment replacing survival-based compromise. The version of you that accepted discomfort just to maintain connection is slowly dissolving. That is why pleasure matters in this season. You are not only attracting abundance externally, you are learning to embody it internally. Real transformation requires presence, honesty, beauty, and slowness. Your life is expanding from stronger foundations now, not fragile appearances. Let the process unfold naturally. By honoring your body and emotional needs with genuine care, you create space where prosperity can finally settle and remain. You are no longer living only to survive difficult chapters. You are beginning to flourish in ways that feel calmer, steadier, and more grounded than before. And this version of you no longer chases validation endlessly outside itself. It understands that true power changes the atmosphere without forcing anything. Scorpio, what is unfolding now is not random luck. It is a karmic correction happening with precision. The energy you poured into people and situations that failed to honor your worth is being recalculated and returned differently now. What once felt like wasted loyalty or invisible emotional labor is no longer disappearing into emptiness. Balance is quietly restoring itself. Every burden you carried that was never truly yours, every time you gave stability to people who answered you with inconsistency, it mattered. None of it went unseen. The universe keeps record differently than people do. And this season carries the feeling of hidden scales finally moving back into alignment. The difference now is that you no longer need to fight for what should have been given freely all along. The energetic balance around your life is beginning to restore itself, Scorpio. You no longer need to chase explanations, force closure, or carry the emotional weight of what was never resolved fairly. That chapter is slowly losing its hold on you. What belongs to you is returning now in steadier forms through opportunities, emotional freedom, stability, and a kind of peace that no longer disappears the moment uncertainty appears. Sometimes the loyalty you once poured into others returns as independence, with your own name attached to it. Sometimes the emotional safety you created for people comes back as a life where you finally feel protected too. And sometimes the patience you carried through difficult years becomes the reason your life suddenly rises in unexpected ways. Around May 20 and 21, this shift may feel more noticeable, not dramatic, but like reality quietly reorganizing itself around your new sense of worth. Transformation rarely announces itself loudly. Some of the deepest changes happen in silence, long before they become visible. Just because your progress was hidden does not mean it stopped growing. The strength inside you was taking root the entire time. And what makes this season meaningful is that these blessings are not arriving because you became cold or ruthless. They are arriving because you protected your heart from turning bitter. That softness mattered more than you knew. Your ability to remain emotionally open after disappointment became part of what preserved your future abundance. What is entering your life now carries permanence, emotional depth, and stability. You will hold it differently, protect it wisely, and stop apologizing for standards that once made you feel misunderstood. Deep down, this is the justice your spirit has been waiting to experience. As your inner world changes, the outer world begins reflecting it back to you. Scorpio naturally notices patterns, and the signs appearing now may feel unusually personal. Repeating numbers like 2222, 444, or especially 888 may begin showing up more often, like quiet confirmations that something is aligning beneath the surface. Around May 20 and 21, these moments may feel stronger, as though reality itself is echoing your transformation back to you. You may also notice unexpected opportunities, financial openings, meaningful coincidences, or a strong desire to rebuild parts of your life differently. These are not random interruptions. They are physical reflections of an internal shift becoming tangible. The signs are not asking you to obsess over every detail. They are reminders that your energy is no longer rooted only in survival. And while these confirmations feel comforting, they also come with responsibility. The abundance moving toward you is not arriving for temporary validation or careless spending. It is arriving to help you create something lasting and emotionally secure. The safety you once searched for in other people is becoming something you are finally building within your own life. Scorpio carries the energy of transformation, emotional depth, and strength shaped through difficult cycles. When resources begin finding you now, they arrive with purpose attached to them. You are being trusted to create stability from intensity, wisdom from pain, and meaning from everything you survived. This blessing is not fragile, it is meant to remain. You may still question at times whether peace can truly last, but look at your history honestly. Every time life forced you to rebuild, you came back wiser and stronger than before. You were never only suffering. You were learning how to create emotional foundations capable of surviving pressure without collapsing. And when these opportunities fully arrive, what you feel most may not be excitement, but relief. You will want to protect what matters, create spaces that feel calm and safe, and surround yourself with people who bring peace instead of chaos. That is how you will recognize this abundance as something real. So when the signs appear, let yourself receive them without overthinking every moment. Just breathe and quietly say to yourself, I accept what is meant for me. Scorpio, the moment you chose your peace over the need to be understood by everyone else, something profound began shifting beneath the surface of your life. The instant you stopped negotiating your worth just to maintain connection, unseen doors quietly started opening around you. This season is not about exhausting yourself trying to prove anything anymore. It is about allowing yourself to receive what your spirit has been building toward all along. Around May 20 and 21, that realization may begin settling into your reality with unusual clarity. A powerful shift in abundance is beginning to materialize, not because you begged life for mercy, but because you survived what could have destroyed you without losing yourself completely. What is arriving now feels less like a reward for struggle and more like the natural return of energy you protected through years of emotional endurance. You are no longer being asked to carry every burden alone. The question now is whether you can release the weight long enough to trust that support is finally reaching toward you. Think about everything you held quietly inside yourself, the late nights filled with uncertainty, the hope you protected even when disappointment tried to bury it, the sacrifices no one fully saw. None of it vanished into emptiness. What if this next chapter is not asking you to fight harder, but to finally allow life to meet you halfway? Open your hands now instead of clenching against what might go wrong. Let your body experience the feeling of safety without immediately searching for the next threat. You do not need to justify the blessings entering your life. You do not need to shrink your joy so other people feel comfortable around it. Breathe deeply and let yourself understand that what is meant for you can exist without guilt attached to it. You are not someone standing outside life begging to be chosen anymore. You are becoming someone who understands that your presence already carries value, stability, and emotional depth worthy of receiving more. And when these changes become visible, let your life reflect the quiet strength it took to reach this point. This is not random luck arriving without meaning. This is the fulfillment of emotional and spiritual labor that has been unfolding beneath the surface for a very long time. The universe does not place abundance into empty hands without purpose attached to it. What is growing around you now is connected to something larger than temporary comfort. You are being positioned to build differently moving forward. This is why your resilience mattered so much. This is why you could not give up, even during the seasons when exhaustion settled deep into your spirit. You are not simply being rewarded. You are becoming established in a new version of your life, one rooted in emotional security instead of constant survival. So pause for a moment and let yourself fully feel where you are now. If this message resonates somewhere deep inside you, comment below and say, "I release the past and receive what is meant for me." Let those words become a reflection of the shift already happening within you. If this video has helped you feel grounded in your own value again, take a moment to like it and subscribe so you do not miss the messages meant to guide you through this season of transformation and abundance. And if it feels right to you, place your hand gently over your heart and whisper these words softly to yourself. "Lord, I am ready to receive what is aligned for me. Teach me how to hold this abundance with wisdom, peace, and gratitude." You were never forgotten during the difficult seasons that shaped you. Beneath everything, your spirit was still growing stronger roots. And now, Scorpio, your time to rise fully into this new chapter has arrived.